What's up, everybody? The Iceman here on Monday morning. The man with the plan, the man with the knowledge, the man with the wrestling news, and we're going to talk a little bit about Bound for Glory last night. Um, I think from the opening match to the last match, this was a very, very fun show to watch. I think every superstar gave it their all in this match to try to ignite the fans. I think there was probably close to 1,000 people there. Um, regardless of how they got there or whatnot. It looked to be about 1,000. It was really hard to tell because TNA always has the lights down so low. Uh, but yeah, it was a fun show to watch, and I saw a lot of people. I saw one person trash TNA last night in his review that trashes every wrestling promotion. So I don't even, his opinion to me is invalid. Anybody that didn't watch the show that said it sucked, their opinion isn't valid to me. I have to give credit to Aaron Rift. He watched the show. He also said it was a fun show. It was a solid show. So that was cool as well. And of course, Andre Corbeil, liked it as well, as many others did, like myself. I had a friend that I was conversing with that gave it a 5 out of 10, but then he left watching it to go to a hangout. So how can you actually rate it when you didn't even watch the whole show? But anyway, it opened up with the TNA X Division uh, title Ultimate X match. We had the champion Tigre Uno go up against a newcomer Andrew Everett and Manic, who was unmasked, and Zema Ion. Pretty good match. I wish these Ultimate X matches would go a little bit longer because they are very, very fun to watch. But in the long run, it came down to Tigre Uno retaining the X Division title match, but it was definitely a fun match to open the show. And then we had the Bound for Gold Gauntlet match, which there was a couple added participants, which I was caught off guard with. It started off with Mr. Anderson and Jesse Garders, but we had the likes of Tyrus, Abyss, Robbie E, Aiden O'Shea, Chris Melendez, Eli Drake, even the Pope came in and then put himself out of it. But we also had Al Snow come in, which was unexpected, and he put on a pretty good show. And then we saw Tommy Dreamer come in with the polka dotted pants, much like the outfit that Dusty Rhodes used to wear in the old days. And I thought it was a pretty good tribute there. This match was a pretty good gauntlet match. I really enjoyed it. A lot of people were upset that Tyrus won this match, but I think it's sort of interesting um, that he did win because after the match, he told EC3 that he was going after the TNA World Heavyweight title. And this sort of caught EC3 off guard. He didn't know what to think. He did, but Tyrus told him he still had his back. But here's the thing: everybody was hoping somebody else would have won, and there could have been a number of other guys that could have won. But haven't we always complained, like even in the WWE and TNA, that we don't give other guys opportunities? Well, this is an opportunity for Tyrus that caught us off guard. And this is something that WWE does not do. They don't throw somebody in to a contention for a title that catches us off guard. And I thought this was a great catch for us. And I think this was a pretty good match to watch. And I have no problem with Tyrus coming out on top of this match. Then we had probably the best match of the night in my eyes, the TNA Tag Team titles. The Wolves, the champions, of course, going up against Trevor Lee and Brian Myers. Let me tell you something. This is what tag team matches are all about. These four were just like totally phenomenal in the ring. Many near fall misses. It was phenomenal. I mean, give credit to Trevor Lee and Brian Myers because these guys are some upcoming superstars no matter where they're going to be. They ended up losing the match. The Wolves retained, but this was a very, very memorable match for TNA Bound for Glory 2015. My hat's off to all four guys in this match. Then we had the TNA King of the Mountain title match. Bobby Roode, the champion, going up against Bobby Lashley. These two guys, let me tell you, we've seen them before, and these guys were brutal with each other. They were using each other's moves. Rude speared Lashley. Lashley gave Rude the Rude bomb. And I'll be quite honest with you, I wasn't sure who was going to win this match, but I was sort of leaning towards Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley is in such great shape right now. This was also another fun match to watch. It was given a good amount of time, much like all the matches on the card. But the champion ended up being Bobby Roode in a very, very good match. I really like this match. Then we had the TNA Knockouts title. But prior to that, we had a video package um, uh, uh, with Earl Hebner. He was inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame. I thought it was a really neat video package. And the reason why they timed that the way they did, because Hebner was going to be the referee for the Knockouts match, with Gail Kim, the champion, going up against Awesome Kong. And Gail Kim, probably to me, is probably the best knockout TNA has ever had. And they've had some good ones. And that's one thing I can say for TNA. Most of these girls, they can actually wrestle. Or if they don't quite have it, they teach them. And this was one of those matches that you knew it was going to be a real long match because, Awesome Kong is a big woman. But I'll tell you, for a big woman, she's got a lot of agility. She reminds me a lot of Bam Bam Bigelow back in the days, the late Bam Bam. This woman can really bring it. And there was a pretty good segment with Gail Kim's husband outside the ring, going after Hebner, and Awesome Kong set up chairs on the floor and gave the awesome bomb to Gail Kim. And but all in all, when it came down to it, Gail Kim found a way to win with the Eat Defeat. Good match. I mean, like I said, every match was fun to watch. I was given little responses on my Facebook page last night as each match was ending, but it was fun to watch. And then we had the no DQ match. Well, which wasn't gonna be a no DQ match, but it was an anything goes match. Kurt Angle talked to Dixie Carter going up against Eric Young. This match went on for a very short time, and the pile driver on Kurt Angle, the medical team came out and said Kurt Angle couldn't go. Eric Young didn't care. He didn't give a shit. He still attacked Kurt Angle, and it got to the point where I don't know if it was a second win or the adrenaline rush for Kurt Angle, but I liked the way they choreographed this match. Kurt Angle came back and he took it to Eric Young, and these both delivered in a very, very, very good match. And it wasn't until Kurt Angle put the ankle lock, or the angle lock, I should say, on Eric Young, did Eric Young finally tap out. Fun match to watch, and you sort of knew Kurt Angle was going to win, and I'm glad, because if this is the end of his career, it's a good way for him to go out. That brings us to the TNA World Triple Threat title match. Ethan Carter III, the champion, comes out with Tyrus, of course, facing Matt Hardy and Drew Galloway. They sort of had a little gaming thing going on there in the beginning where Matt Hardy claimed Tyrus grabbed his leg. Jeff Hardy was, of course, the special referee. So this could have gone either way. Usually when you're a special referee and you're a brother or you're related to somebody that's in that match, usually that referee will screw that person over. But anyway, Tyrus got thrown out, and Tyrus was sort of happy. He was chuckling about it. EC3, he didn't like it at first, but then he said, okay. These guys, all three of them, great triple threat match. All three delivered punches, blows, chair shots, you name it. You name it. And it came down to the point where Ethan Carter wanted to get disqualified. Of course, Jeff Hardy said no, because this is a triple threat match. It's a no DQ match. So Ethan ended up slapping Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy was holding the chair, and he hit Ethan Carter with the chair. And what it came down to finally at the end was Matt Hardy getting the pin in his home state of North Carolina, which a lot of people will say, okay, he won in his home state, that's why. But isn't this what promotions do, really? This is the first time Matt Hardy's been a world champion in either TNA or WWE. So it was a very good match. And at the end, his wife, Rebby Sky, came out with their child, and they both went out and they got their father, and everybody was in the ring. And this is pretty much how the show ended. But prior to going back to everybody in the ring, it showed Ethan Carter going backstage, saw John Gubrick and Dixie. He shoved John Gubrick over a table, and he started yelling at Dixie and, sort of stomped out in a tantrum. And they went back into the ring, showing the Hardys once again, and the show ended. Now, like I said, from start to finish, everything was fun to watch. Anybody that watched this show, you know, I don't know what you're expecting. I mean, I look at the talent that they have and what they did, and it was awesome. To me, it was totally awesome. I totally enjoyed this show. Now, a lot of times when I'm watching a pay per view, I'll look at the clock and I'll say, God, we still got so much time left. Last night, I didn't even know what time it was, and the show just breezed through for me. And this usually doesn't happen unless you're enjoying the show. So, anybody that didn't get the opportunity to watch TNA, if you are a TNA fan, by all means, try to get the opportunity to do so. And if you aren't a TNA fan, don't waste your time because you're going to bash it no matter what. Um, I like TNA. I like WWE, so I'm very objective. I thought this show was better than the MSG show at Madison Square Garden for the WWE, only for the fact that every single match had a lot of time and every single match delivered in my eyes. So there you have it. There you have my thoughts and my opinions, and I was glad to help a couple people out last night to be able to watch the show. So all in all, again, a very, very fun show to watch. And, I don't care what the naysayers say. In my eyes, I liked it. And I was really glad to hear that Aaron Riff thought it was a fun show to watch as well, because Aaron really doesn't have a lot to good to say about TNA. But last night, he had some positive remarks to say. So there you have it. Peace out, everybody. Have yourself a great Monday.